Let me tell y'all something, y'all. It's hot up in here. I'm getting irritated. I am somebody who I never look forward to summertime, okay? Because where I stay right now, we do not keep the motherfucking air conditioner on all day, all night during the summertime. So sometimes I have to sleep with that shit off. And let me tell you something. I am somebody who likes sleeping underneath the covers, okay? I am somebody who I do not enjoy sleeping on my wrist and there's a puddle of fucking sweat from where my head was laying. I do not look forward to the summer, and it's not even hot right now, but it's just the fact that that shit is coming, okay? Game of Thrones said winter is coming. Bitch, summer is coming. I would rather reverse, at least because I can sleep comfortably at night. But I gotta deal with this shit for 3 months, 3 to 4 months, 3.5 months. No, sir, I'm not interested. At least right now, when I get a place that I can keep the air on as much as I want and I can sleep comfortably, fine. Right now, I'm not checking for it. But anyway, y'all, let's get into my last review of Kandi and the Gang. I don't know if I'm going to be talking about Housewives. Like, that shit came on yesterday, and I ain't even... I ain't even too much interested in watching it. I just feel like I'm just bored with it, the show. Like, Portia's not there. I did like Portia, although I did not watch her spinoff. Candy's there, but I don't give a fuck about Marlo. I don't give a fuck about Sheree. I don't give a fuck about this Sanya girl. I don't give a fuck about... I definitely don't give a fuck about Kenya, and I don't give a fuck about Juicidora. So I'm just like, they should have just did a wash and got some new housewives in, because I don't give a fuck about them girls past Kandi. But speaking of Kandi and the Gang, this is the season finale, and it was pretty good. I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet because my last video was like 18 minutes, and I just don't even feel like it was really 18 minutes worth of content for me to run my mouth that motherfucking long. But this episode, let's just start off with Patrick proposing to Safari. That was cute. That conversation he had with his mom when she was talking about I gotta share my baby with another woman. I'm just like, weenie, that sounds gross and disgusting. And to me, that just any woman, any parent who feels that way, it just tells me that you ain't got no significant other. She ain't got a man, which means she's not getting any dick. And I need her to get some so she can leave her son alone, because at the end of the day, it's time for you to cut the umbilical. You're too old and he's too old. You can go get a man. Aunt Joyce thought it was real cute to be trying to find your grandma and Bertha a man. She need to find you a man right along with her ass. Torrin is doing Friday Night Live. He was talking with Shardo and Brian, and Brian was telling him about soul rolls, how motherfucking Todd want to put him in a corner store and go 50 on his business. Torrin is doing Friday Night Vibe at the 70s thing, and he talked to Brandon's black ass. That bitch, I don't like Brandon, and this was just another instance of me feeling like he needs to be demoted from manager, because he's just not a good fucking manager. Like, Torrin asked you to get some food runners. You was like, oh, I'll ask them see if they want to do it. He didn't even get back to him. He probably didn't even ask. I don't even believe that this bitch asked with his milk dud head ass. I don't believe that anorexic Morris Chestnut asked for food runners, okay? I feel like he just went about his business. Would go sit at the bar and go eat chicken and macaroni, okay? He didn't get back to Torrin. Torrin did not have food runners. What else is going on? I feel like that's really the main thing I was about to cover in this review, because it was a good episode. But I do not like Don Juan whatsoever. I've never liked Don Juan. Speaking of Portia, I never liked Don Juan ever since he called himself going back and forth with Portia like that. I'm like, Don Juan, you was like a real bitch, and I'm sick of you. I'm ready for you to just go bald, because this hairline that you ain't trying to get hair transplants for is offending me. It's fucking offending me. I just feel like he's way too saucy. He just need, every time he starts to get buck with people, I'm like, I wish somebody would knock him the fuck out, because he just seemed like those people who say a lot of things and don't even anticipate a bitch actually knocking him the fuck out. I need him to get swung on one good time, because he was saying that, Torrin asking us to go get some food, And we're not about to be doing that. That's something that you get an assistant for. Why didn't you just tell him that? Why didn't you tell him to ask somebody else who could get food for him? Why didn't you do that? See, the whole time he was popping off on tour talking about he thought it was dumb because they make too much money to be going around getting food. It's like, okay. But then he gonna sit there and say, well, why didn't you ask Philip? Bitch, he didn't think that he could ask Philip because when he asked you, you thought it was fucking ridiculous. So he tried to figure that shit out on his own. But he did ask for help. You could have told him in that moment when he asked you to go ask Philip and to fulfill his needs in regards to putting on this show, but you didn't. You just got in your little stank ass mood, and then you went to pop off at the fucking event. I cannot stand Don Juan. I really cannot. It's like, I never could stand him, and I'm glad that like Philip is now likable now, because now Don Juan is gonna look like the little bitch that he is. And you could tell that's another motherfucker who ain't getting any dick. But Torin put on a great show, and it's fucked up that I'm just so glad that Don Juan didn't tell Kandi and Todd about, not having any ice, not having any water and all that kind of stuff. But he did try to do the best with what he could have. And like he said, he did ask Brandon but even like he said, he admitted when he was wrong. He did ask Brandon for the food runners, but you didn't follow up with him. Like, if this bitch ain't following up with you, you got to follow up with him so that way you can move on to the next thing. You give a bitch one day, or if you only got one day, you give a bitch to that night so you can figure out what you need to do the next morning. So, whatever. Obviously, he didn't get penalized for it. Patrick proposed to Safari at the event. I never even heard of that artist before, but I think I may want to check out his song. It was a really nice event. One thing I didn't like is like behind the vibe stage, that was like all you seen was like the shit across the street. I didn't like that. It just threw it off of me. I'm like, I understand like they can't bob the whole block and throw the event, but it was just ruining it for me. I like what everybody had on for the most part. Everybody looked good. Todd and his goldfish shoes, those were dope. That was really dope. But that's enough of the event, because what I do want to talk about with this motherfucking event is the fact that they fired Shardo, right? Now, y'all know, if y'all watch my previous reviews, I don't give a fuck about Shardo. I felt like he brought nothing to this whole show, and for the most part, he was invisible. And if tonight was any indication, well, not tonight, because I'm a day late, but if the finale was any indication, he will not be featured on Kandi Speak On It, okay? But I feel like he brought nothing to the show. He was super boring. He was pretty invisible. But the way that they fired him, I did not like it. So apparently this bitch, they said he was guilty of taking drinks at the bar. Even though he had said, a manager has to clock you out. So it's impossible that he could have been drinking at the bar because he got off at 8 o'clock and all this other stuff. And they was like, well, we didn't know it was alcohol until we had actually rang it up. I don't know. But then it transitioned from that to a white bitch coming up to him and asking him if he would accept tips to move them ahead of the line. And he responded with, how you know I do that? And Chandrika was right. Dreek, she was right there behind him, and she heard the whole thing. And so Dreek confirmed that was the exchange, and he went back and forth with management, and he asked, was he fired? And they promptly told his ass yes. Now, here's my thing, right? Because in the clip that we seen, he just simply said, how do you know I do that? That's not really a confirmation, but it's also not a denial. But where he could have spun that, we didn't see what happened. We didn't see the entire exchange. We just seen him telling that white bitch asking her, how does she know that he did that? Because like I said, that's not a denial and it's not a confirmation. And he could have spun that in his favor. Like, well, I was asking her like sarcastically, like, how the fuck does she know I do that? Because that's not something I go around doing. So where did she get that from? Why did she get the impression that I accept tips to move people ahead of the line? That was never explained. So, and they don't know because they weren't there. So he could have easily spun that and be like, nah, I wasn't saying I did or I didn't. I wasn't saying I did at all. I was just asking her, because if it's a rumor going around about me that I accept tips to move people ahead of the line, even though he's doing it, he could have been like, where the fuck did you get that from? but he didn't. You can tell he just got lost in the moment. He wasn't quick on his feet. He wasn't hitting him with the right hand hook and a quick little left hand jab. He fucked up, but he should have spun it in that way because, like I said, that wasn't confirming it, or it didn't confirm it. Like you cannot say that confirmed the fact that he did in fact do that. And regardless of Drake said that happened, she also didn't hear him say that he did that either. And then we didn't see in the clip that he moved that white bitch ahead of the line either. So really, it's just going based off of hearsay. Now, if he would have spun that in his favor, the way I just said he should have spun that shit, and they decided to keep him, but it was gonna be an investigation. I would have been like, you know what? I'm gonna have to part ways with you hoes because the way that y'all confronted me at a party about some work shit, even though this is happening at work, we're off the clock. We are not working. We are partying. The only person who is working is Torian and Brian. Ain't none of us getting paid for this event. So y'all confronted me about stealing, pretty much. Y'all confronted me about theft off the clock at a party in front of a bunch of patrons. If that shit ain't fucking unprofessional, I don't know what is. And it really made Kandi and the gang look bad because, like, we've already seen them not have any generators. Philip said at the end that Todd ain't getting no goddamn generator. So if they lose power while y'all are there, just blow it up on Twitter and make Todd pay for that shit. Make them have to do something about that because that's ridiculous. But even when they was suspending Brian, it's like y'all couldn't go in the office to have this conversation. Y'all had to have it at a table across from patrons again. It's like they just do things. Then you got this bald head bitch Brandon fucking Dominique, and then doing so like at least he was smart enough to go in the fucking office to do something appropriate, but he knew to do it in the office as opposed to you hoes. Y'all will have these deep ass investigation conversations with people in front of customers, and then y'all gonna sit. And then another thing, I'm like, how the fuck? Maybe that wasn't his actual termination. Maybe they're just letting him know ahead of time that he was fired. But you are not supposed to fire people off the clock. They have to be clocked in for that because that's something that takes place at work. So I'm just like, if that was me, I would have spun that shit and then I would have quit because I'm like, you motherfuckers are unprofessional as fuck. There's no way we should have been partying and y'all asked me about some shit that I may or may not have done at work. Unacceptable. And it made the restaurant look bad. It made management look bad. And he should have spit in Don Juan's mouth when he was talking. I would have enjoyed seeing that. I really would have. I would have followed him and I would have hit up his cash app for spitting in Don Juan's mouth because I wish a bird would have flew by and shit it in Don Juan's afro as he was talking with that whole situation. And Drake, I feel like she kind of wanted Shardo out. But why would he, let's just say he was like, he didn't say no. Why would you do that in front of Chandrika unless that's your homegirl? I feel like the only people he could have gotten away with that with were, Brian and Torrin. So for him to do that in front of her was stupid, but like I said, he didn't confirm it and he didn't deny it. But what's important is that he did not confirm that he accepted tips to move people ahead of the line at all. Like I said, it was all just hearsay, and he really could have spun that to his favor, but he didn't. But I ain't gonna miss that little light bright bitch anyway, because like I said, he didn't bring nothing to the show, and he couldn't dress. People think that just being loud and gaudy and trying to make a statement is fashionable, and it's not. Because that shirt that he had on, I don't even think it was at the party. I think he had a shirt on early in the episode, and I'm just like, what is you wearing? Why are you wearing that? Like when he wore that other like gray glittery shirt, like why are you wearing that? And you're working at a hot, sweaty restaurant smelling like food. Why do you have that on? Just put on a regular fucking button up and call it a day. Why are you being so flashy? Like you look like you just want so much attention for being fashionable because nobody will be looking at you for anything else. That's what it looks like to me. But this episode of Kandi and the Gang, it was good. It was a good series. I really enjoyed it. I know I said last week that maybe we'll see them go to the Blaze and then maybe we'll see them go to the other OLG location, but I don't know. It's not gonna be the same. But I'm not opposed to it either because they could have better cast at their other locations. But It was good. I just didn't like how they handled that shit with Shardo. And I didn't like how Don Juan handled that shit with Torrin. I think Don Juan is just so fucking annoying. And I just thought it was stupid. Like, you get mad at this man for asking for help. But you said you weren't going to help him do that. But you could have been like, well, maybe I'm not going to do it. But maybe you can ask this person. Maybe you can go through this window to get that done. You didn't do that either. Like, Don Juan, you ain't a great manager either, bitch, as far as this is concerned. Maybe you're just good on managing one-on-one clients and nothing else, because it seemed like Kandi spreads that motherfucker thin, and just having him in all different areas because it's cost efficient, but he may not be the most efficient person at it. But that's all I got on this review, y'all. It was great reviewing this show, and I kept this shit under 18 minutes. So I will catch y'all on the next show. Start the review, and if y'all have any suggestions, drop it down in the comments below. Peace.